JLO has filed for a divorce, you guys. This is definitely not her best year, and that has been very clear from the very beginning. We have talked a lot about all the things that have been going on in JLO's life, and now this, you guys. There had been a lot of speculation that her and Ben were headed for a divorce, but on Tuesday, she officially filed for a divorce. We're gonna get into the details that have been made public, how we kind of got here, what people are saying, and also some positivity surrounding JLO, because as much as JLO was kind of getting Blake Lively at the beginning of the year, where people were coming for her, saying that she was really out of touch, suddenly the tide is turning. This week, she was getting a lot of praise for something that we are going to get into. So Tuesday, TMZ reported that JLO had officially filed for divorce from Ben. The date being August 20th is kind of a big date for them, which is their second anniversary of the huge wedding ceremony that they had. They had previously gotten married in Vegas in that July, but August 20th marks the anniversary of the big wedding they had in Georgia. So it seemed very purposeful that she filed that day of all days, especially when she listed the date of separation as April 26th of 2024, which lines up to when the divorce rumors first started, because following the Met Gala, people were wondering if there was trouble in paradise. Basically, the two had not been seen in public together in months, and people were also making note of the fact that Ben did not attend the Met Gala with JLo, even though she was a co-chair that night. And rumors really got started when JLo was spotted house hunting alone. She wasn't with Ben, and people were really wondering why, because they had just spent all this time searching for their dream house. They bought their dream house, so why would she be house hunting for a new property without him? And of course, there were definitely things being said to combat some of the things being said, like the Met Gala, he was working that night. Also, Zendaya was a co-chair and Tom Holland didn't attend. And when it comes to the house, people were saying, okay, maybe she went to go look at some houses and then she would text him if she liked it. So people weren't fully convinced, but the rumors were out there. The two did seem to try and calm the rumors a bit by continuing to wear their rings here and there. And I mean, truly every other day, week, and month, there were articles being written about them wearing their wedding rings despite there being all of these divorce rumors. The two also were seen a couple more times in person after the divorce rumors, as it kind of looked like they wanted to quiet everything down even more. They were going to the farmers market, they were going to family events with their kids. But at the same time as all of this damage control, it was being reported that Ben had moved out of their shared home together, and paparazzi kept getting pictures of him spending the night at a different place. Even though that was going on, JLo had still posted a Father's Day post to Ben back in June, writing, "Our hero, happy Father's Day," but news reports were all claiming that the two were done. That same month, People wrote, "They're still friendly and see each other every few days," the source close to Lopez says. And Entertainment Tonight wrote, "At the end of May, one source close to the couple told ET that Affleck, 51, and Lopez were all too aware of their issues and were desperately trying to save their marriage. Ben and Jen don't want to get divorced," the source shared, adding the pair are saying they won't, but their relationship is simply not working at this point. They aren't done yet and want to fix things because they love each other, but they are also both unhappy. Unfortunately, it seemed the rumors about them were true, as they are getting a divorce, and it just makes those projects that she released at the beginning of the year that much cringier. People had already clowned JLo for the release of her album, movie, and documentary this year, as there was hardly any hype around it. A lot of hate, but not a lot of hype. The album and movie were inspired by her love story with Ben and how they had come back together after all of these years. And in her documentary, The Greatest Love Story Never Told, she talked in depth about these projects being about them. I mean, this whole year was basically supposed to surround their entire love story, and she was even going to take this story on tour with her as she planned to perform these songs for her fans this summer, but the tour ended up getting canceled, and it certainly was for the best, as there's no way she would have wanted to perform these love songs about their love story when this was the state that they were in, about to get a divorce. Last month, the couple officially put their shared home on the market, and all the signs were just pointing towards a divorce. But there seems to be some more drama, as Ben and JLo didn't sign a prenup, which some reports have felt was interesting given that it isn't their first go at marriage, as Ben has been married once before and JLo has been married 4 times now. But this lack of a prenup has seemed to cause some issues between them, as TMZ reported that money-wise, things have not been hashed out yet. They wrote, "As we reported, they have been trying to hash out a settlement for months, and our sources say those talks are continuing, but they have become increasingly increasingly acrimonious to the point at times they're not even speaking to each other. They also wondered why she would have filed when they haven't yet figured things out, but noted that it could have all been a PR move, which I do think that given all that's been said about JLo this year, if Ben was seen filing from her, there for sure would be a lot that people had to say, a whole narrative painted against her. It just would be very negative, I believe. So it seems her filing was to get ahead of anything that could possibly be said about her even further. But I will say that this Blake Lively drama going around right now of people not liking Blake seems to have JLo in a good spot. This is the time where it feels like JLo is trying to maybe win back the public a little bit, and people were making some jokes about it this week. It was reported this week that JLo had donated $4.5 million to Palestine aid, and let me tell you guys, Twitter was having their fun supporting this move, writing, "I take it back, girl. You can sing. The Amazon movie is screaming Oscar. Who needs a plot anyway, or character development anyway?" The quote tweets of this were also sending some love to JLo, writing, "I think I do know what that orange drink is." What's crazy is I'm starting to remember seeing her on the block. The crazy little girl in the Bronx running up and down the block ain't too bad after all. Does anyone want to get a ham and cheese on a roll and that orange drink? You know the one. With me later? Guys, maybe we are the silly ones for not knowing the orange drink. Which, if you guys don't get what they are saying, earlier this year, JLo was clowned for trying to seem relatable at times, and it's just completely missing the mark, and nobody seemed to understand any of the things that she was saying, especially in this one Vogue interview. It was a Vogue 73 questions, and they asked her what her go-to order at the bodega was, and she said it was ham and cheese on a roll and the orange drink, if you know, you know. And everyone was like, what is she talking about? They were judging the sandwich. They didn't know the orange drink.
What was your go-to order at the bodega?
My go-to order at the bodega was ham and cheese on a roll with an orange drink, if you know, you know, and a small bag of chips.
What they were saying right now was so different from what was being said back then, because people were coming for her at the beginning of the year.
JLo is a delusional chaos demon. At this point, I don't even believe she's from New York anymore, because what block are you from, JLo? Leave us alone.
Please stop using us to look human. We are sick of you. You don't do for us. Keep our names out of your mouth. We're not running up and down the block. Not all of us do that for kicks. You're stupid. Stop using us to look human. Stop using us to look relatable.
I'm sorry, but as somebody from the Bronx, I'm tired. I'm so tired of JLo. A lot of people are giving her hate about this, and I agree, because she keeps on talking about the block like she goes back to the block. If you're gonna disrespect our community and fail to represent our community or give back in any way, then you don't have the right to mention the Bronx anymore. And not just funding our education system, which is failing, but like funding the community of the Bronx in general. We are struggling and suffering every day, and you're just like sitting pretty with your nice toned body with your millions of dollars. So why don't you walk the walk instead of just talk the talk?
And also in her movie, she had made a comment about how her hair was all messed up because she was just working out, and she said that her messy hair was reminding her of being a little girl running up and down the block.
I like taking my hair out like this. It reminds me like when I was 16 in the Bronx, running up and down the block. A crazy little girl who used to be wild and no limits, all dreams and
But suddenly people were okay with what she said, and it was so funny. But it definitely seems like maybe things are turning around for her towards the end of this year. I know she just filed for divorce, and that's a negative thing, but the public seems to be lightening up when it comes to her. And like I said, with Blake Lively seen as the new mean girl in Hollywood, I'm sure JLo is a little bit relieved. I mean, imagine this kind of confirmation of them getting a divorce at the beginning of the year. Just the rumors alone had things so rough that if it had been confirmed that they were getting a divorce, or if Ben had filed for a divorce from JLo at the beginning of the year, it just wouldn't have been good. People would have been on the attack. They would have been like, what did she do to this man? And saying all this stuff. So that's probably why they chose to hold off. But she is being petty, it seems, with the date filing. So it's not all cordial, I guess. But we'll just have to see what happens if the two can work out their financial stuff that they are going through and have a mess-free situation here, or if there will be more that comes out about their ongoing divorce. divorce. But as of right now, that is what has been said in terms of JLO and Ben. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.